Get the recording going. Good evening, everyone. We've already got quite a bit of posts going in, so I think we're just going to get started. Let me just find some different music for myself. We're just gonna go. Potato internet is not potato for once. No way. That's awesome to hear, Meloria. That is awesome to hear. Okay, I'm gonna just open some of these images. Boom, boom, boom. Opening this one. This is that 2 images? Yes, it is. Okay. Concept and this one. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Make sure that we're good. We are good. Exile, how you doing? Fixie, how you doing? See Fixie? True guy? Yo. Yo. Mike, I don't know if I said hi, but what's up? Jan, how you doing? Okay. So I'm new to this server. How often do things like this happen? Every 3 weeks. I plan to post a schedule though in the Discord, so if you're there, you will see there's a channel called Stream Info. Expect that channel to get updated soon. I think there's been a need for some clarity on when things are happening. Okay. So this one, Sherman. No, this isn't Sherman. Wait a minute. This is Sherman. There we go. Okay. So this is pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Really cool. Eric, how you doing, man? I mean, this looks awesome. There's a lot of detail and breakup going on. I'm curious if you've got some reference that you're going off of, because I'm seeing a lot of similar things. Scale seems to be pretty good with the t-shirt, but the t-shirts might, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm looking at scale a lot here, and I'm just trying to decide if like things are too big or too small. You can see the detail here versus the detail here. This feels much smaller. Not just like in the overall like shape of it, but the spacing between details is tighter, and the details in general just seem to be smaller. So there's a question of like how that's being scaled. Paul, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Curious. Thanks for the resub. 21 months. Crazy. So some things that, okay, overall I would say this looks really impressive. This looks pretty good. You come down here, I would say the foliage feels maybe a little dark. And the transition of the grass to soil, I would say needs some love. I like the attention to detail with the heights of the grass blades. Plastic bags being here, the garbage bags. I see a little bit of a cup sticking out. I think if you just had a few trash pieces that you could spill out just to help you break up the environment, especially around the ground, that would be really like next level. Only other thing that is really sticking out to me, I mean, there's 2 things. So there's the edge here is being really sharp. I think if you can get some bevels on these, that'll work wonders for you. Or like an edge decal like it looks like you have on the pillars down here, the beams. Breakup is the only word you need. Yes. Another thing, I'll just highlight it like this. So you've got, if you box it, hang on, maybe I should make it bolder so you can really see it. If you box these, and I try and box the height, roughly speaking, you can see they're kind of taking up the same space. They feel like they're on like the same like vertical plane, or horizontal plane rather, sorry. They feel very similar, and then shape language wise they feel really odd that they're kind of peaked like this, you know. So looking at this type of language and figuring out what you can do with the rocks to kind of push the quality of them. What I would actually advise is just taking this whole area here and just kind of like just committing to a large rock and then maybe some smaller rocks to the side, and then you can use that to anchor a little bit of the grass on the edge, and then the garbage bag has a reason for why it's so close to everything. What's the red pen software you're using now? How come you stopped using Oh, just because this is what I've been using at work. This is Lightshot. Epic Pen's definitely a little bit better. I think from a UX experience, I'm liking Lightshot more, but I can probably just talk to someone there about it. 11 probably. I can chat with her and see if there's something they can do about the UX of it. Because I just need to hit print screen and then just start doodling, and then I hit escape or Control Z works. And I run into some other problems when I use Epic Pen when it comes to that. But yeah, it's mainly about the stuff up close, because up above this looks really great, and it's just a matter of like getting some good transitions in there. There's some other things in here as well. I don't know if this is like at the bottom floor of this building, and it's just like a nighttime shot. So overall, this looks really good. I would just think about all of the logics of things. So like, if we print screen here and we go like this, so you've got some sharp edges here, which I can see there's like maybe a decal that's floating there to try and get the breakup there, which is really cool. It just is very angular there. The other thing is the graffiti behind the boxes feels a little strange. This is very clean, so let's do this. We'll do this. This is really clean. This is kind of clean as well. And then I think what you want to be looking for is areas where you can anchor your assets, right? So anywhere that you can get some age to drip connections going on, that would be very helpful. And don't discount the fact that like when people do graffiti and tagging, they're doing it in one big area. There's likely going to be some around here. And then likely somewhere around like eye level, like, or if you think about where you're painting from, if you were to use a spray can, it's going to be at like your eye level to like upper chest for where decals are going to go for these, the spray paint stuff. It's a very big scene. I'm building alleys, interiors, etc. Man, that's hardcore. I like all the propping that's going on here. Everything's very next to each other, and remember that if these are out here in real life, they would be used, right? They would likely, maybe this one would be full of water, maybe something's floating in it, maybe there's some clothes hanging off of this, or like a piece of wood stuck in there. One full trash bag means there's probably more trash bags that are kind of getting there. The little water bowl for the dog. Probably put some wetness around here. And then don't discount those cigarette butts. Someone's going to be smoking by this door. I can feel it. You know? But yeah, there's a lot of nice attention to detail going on here. And I like there are areas where you're really solving the laser line problem, which is these straight lines. So you can see here the straight line tests. It's very angular in there. So that's nice. Where it breaks though is right here. Like that's super sharp. I think even just modeling a little extra geo on the edge there. And again, don't forget the grounding, like this area here. And grounding on this part, you know, on the pipe. Makes sense. Yeah, they would paint the graffiti over these boxes if that happens, over the pipes as well. That's why I think it wouldn't happen here. It would happen over here. Or like over the door, you know? And like this thing here, I feel like that would be more up here. Unless a kid was doing this. Dang kids. Yeah, overall though, looks really awesome, and I love the attention to detail here. It's the same here. Grounding everything, connecting stuff. This weird slant here, this tilt in the shelf. I know you're trying to add some like character and stuff there, but it feels off. Yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that, and then just making sure that everything is kind of connected with either decals or grime or dirtiness. I mean, when you if you use these sinks a lot, you can see there's a little bit of dirtiness back there. You know full well this back plate here is gonna get some discoloring and some age on it. Yeah, just anything you can do on the ground. Oh, it kind of looks like you've got contact shadows on as well as dynamic shadows. I would just try and sort this shadow situation out for what shadows show when, because it looks like you got some clipping going on here. I am watching you after a long time, and the mustache looks dope. No cap, man. No cap. Thank you. We've been joking at work about weird freaking phrases that we hear the youngins say. No cap. Keep up the drip, my G. Cool. There's lots of storytelling going on here. I like it. All right. This looks cool. Some nice attention to detail. Interior as well. A splash of water on the floor would be a great idea. A Jedi mind trick does not change the stash. Mustache gang. uh, GG no re. I think if I had to say anything, so the exterior of this looks pretty cool. The wheels feel a little soft. Like I wouldn't hesitate to add some either displacement on there or a stronger normal depth inside of there. You guys in chat are funny. Okay. So what I think's missing here is some material definition, likely in the elements that are larger. Just getting some detail normals on there would probably solve a lot of that. Or like if you've ever thought about, so I talk about detail normals a lot, and I talk about how you can use a mask to kind of modulate the strength of detail normals. Have you ever thought about using a detail roughness where it's like fingerprints and like smudges and all that stuff, and it's just tiling, and then you have a mask to paint where that happens? No cap. Like sheesh. Oh my god, Axel. I think that would go a long way for just getting surface definition. And after the stream, I'll go through the critiques channel and give everyone who has got the Nomad tag a community tag, just so that you're out there, being part of the community and whatnot. By the way, what's the story behind the name of Dynasty Empire? You guys named me that. You guys named it the Empire many years ago. Oh wow, you came from a weapons. It must have been a DEF CON thing. We can talk about the story stuff, where everything came from, after I get to this last one, and then we'll continue with some more stuff. So I want to make sure I get to most of you guys' work. So I would say this looks much better. Her skin really needs some, it doesn't feel like it's got subsurface on it. And I would see if what's going on with the highlight in the hair. Yo, thanks for the resub, man. Mike, nice. So, you know how you can get a pretty nice sheen on hair? I would see if you can get that in there, because you've got the softness pretty down. The detail on the ship is pretty nice as well. I think, honestly, I think seeing this in motion is probably the best way to really display this. The other thing I would say is where her shoulder is, or her elbow, sorry, how that's folding and bending, that crease there, it feels a bit inflated and then like bent, like an inflated tube that's being bent. So look into like how that's deforming. Okay, antique table, let's go. Yo, this looks amazing. Okay, so this is Unreal 5. I've been wanting to finish this project for a long time. I've been able to and I've finally been able to complete it. So congratulations to finishing your project. That's probably one of the hardest things anyone can do, making 3D art, is just finishing the piece. If you need to, just descope, just shrink it down. Even if you're just submitting one thing, it's done. You know, you've made it. You've made something. So this is familiarizing yourself with Nanite. Workflow with Nanite has been a new and interesting. The fact of not having to do the retopology has been interesting. Although if you don't follow a good workflow, you may end up with files heavier than your computer can handle, and slowing down the process. I love how there's just like a light post-mortem in here. I've taken the opportunity to put into practice what I've been seeing for months from oh yeah, William's good, man. If you guys have not heard of William, I'll paste that name in chat. You guys are welcome to post his YouTube channel as well. Great resource of information. So I wanted to thank him for sharing so much knowledge in such a well-explained way. All the images are direct renders from Unreal and have not been retouched in any other software. Yo, that flex though. That's awesome. It's like no retouching. I just did it right. This looks cool. Nice details here as well. Man, seriously, the details are crazy. Ooh. Oh man, I wish this was like way higher res. I wish that was way higher res. Oh, look at that. Oh, so that's pretty cool as well. Very, very nice attention to detail. Oh my god, look at that. Materials are pretty on point as well. I think when it comes to the wood grain direction, and maybe your reference is really I'm not pro, so I can't upload large images. Oh man, that sucks. There is I mean, with the Discord, because we're level 3 on the server, you can upload pretty high res in the chat here. So if you ever want to upload a high res image for feedback, that should work. This is really nice stuff. Oh my god, the detail. Was that like a height map that you did a displace on? Kind of feels like that's the only way you'd achieve some detail like this. It's really, really nice stuff though. My eyes. Yeah, this is super cool. Yeah, I was gonna say the wood grain, making sure the wood grain direction is pretty on point. Understanding like how it was built, and by all means, maybe this is how it is in the reference. So we take it with a grain of salt. The clock seems a bit off. You mean this thing here? I feel like these metals feel a little strange to me, but it might be just because the wood one. Like maybe a little too dark, a little too saturated? Possibly. This feels so nice though. I think we're missing some subsurface on this wax. Oh, the feet. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there might be either some warping from a bake or something's going on there. Overall, super nice though. It might even be reflecting some of the wood, which could be that dark edge. I'm not sure. Really cool scene though. I love this presentation. It's really impressive when someone can present something in the dark like this and it looks intentional. Do you know what I mean? It does feel like a war table. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Oh boy, look at those. Look at those missile pods. So you didn't say particularly what you were interested in getting feedback on. Um, but we can take a look. Man, you even follow your name in here. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Good to see you posting stuff. So modeling wise, it looks pretty good. This area gets a little strange. I think what's kind of making it feel odd is like, so if you look at the weight of the bevels here and the weight of like the edges in here and how they're beveled, or how this is rounded, but then these are angular. So if you can follow a similar language in how your shapes are forming, especially on hard surface, it tends to look more intentional. Especially like you see here, you get this sharp point, and if that's rounded as well, like this is, you're gonna get a more consistent visual. The other thing I think I would mention is when you look at it from this view, you can really see like you've got like a base roughness on there that's tiling. I think just getting a mask in there to break it up and add some like collections of like either dirt or discoloring, anything like that, or like grease marks, or just something that's breaking up the surfaces in a way that shows movement or interaction, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck when it comes to like the materials. And that's just mask, like base level mask generation. If you can just get a little bit of breakup in there, that would work wonders. And then the only other thing I think I would mention on here is making sure that there's elements in here that help explain how stuff is connected together. Because right now, this whole piece here kind of feels like it's one contiguous piece of metal, and it just wouldn't be built that way, right? It would look like parts are kind of welded together, or pieces fit into other pieces, and then you can see the bolts that connect them. Just understanding how it's all put together is going to be really, really important. And you get a little bit of that here. So you got the ring, and then that goes to the cover for the rocket pods. But the way it's like built on the inside there, it doesn't even look like this can rotate, right? It actually looks like it's welded to the mesh. So thinking about those things would be key. That's what I would suggest, anyways. All right, what do we got here? This looks pretty cool. Some nice metals going on. Yeah, dude. This is really nice. It's this I imagine this asset's pretty difficult to get right because you don't want it to be too what's the word for it? Too busy, but you need to have all those panel lines in there as well. You've done a pretty good job as well having some panel lines following the flow. I'm looking around for tiling. Some details are following the flow of the shape of the ship, which is really nice. Kind of helps with the believability of it. There's some edges that are feeling a little sharp, and I think just a bevel on them, or some edge breakup of like how the paneling breaks. Like you can see here, I don't even know if that's modeled in, but it feels like that's a panel. If there were some breaks in here, or like that edge was just had some cuts in it, kind of like what's happening here, you're going to get a much more believable surface. This is looking real nice, though. I think this pattern's also paint, right? So really trying to bring the... I don't know from this angle because it looks like you're using a pretty overcast lighting setup. But the paint roughness should be different from the metal, right? And then probably not have any metalness in it. Really cool, though. Really, really cool. And it's surprisingly not too busy, considering what surface you're trying to make. Very nice. Actually, let me see again one more time here. Yeah, you got the discoloring in the metal as well from the heat. I would see if you got a little bit of it going on, but some directional information that shows like re-entering the atmosphere and coming back out. It's really, really nice details and just kind of pushing that further. The glass as well up front. I know you can only barely see it here, but like getting a nice reflectivity on there, that'd be super, super nice. Pretty cool, man. This is looking. My favorite part, I think, is right here, right there. Really cool. Nicely done. Okay, so here's the concept, right? And this is the block out you're working on. Man, that's really coming along, isn't it? You getting all your little details in there now? Here's the current state of the environment after I posted on Discord critique streams 2 weeks ago. I would love to hear your thoughts and if there's anything I can improve on in terms of composition, materials, and just overall lighting. So, because you had done your block out so early and blocked out every single prop that you think is going to be in the scene, you had the ability to work on your composition very, very early, right? So when I saw it 2 weeks ago, you already had a lighting direction in, and you were able to do that in a way that kind of confirmed the way the scene is going compositionally. You're also doing really nice localization of color for every block out piece, so it's helping you make decisions for how the scene's going to look even before you started texturing it, and you were able to lock the composition and the lighting very, very early on. I think the focus is still here. But there's a little bit of light hit on the ground over here. So I think if you were able to define this just a little bit brighter, let me see if we can. Let me just make sure this. Yeah, cool. Is it highlights? Yeah, this is popping those highlights. You get that glow going, you know what I mean? I can just do this and then blur. You're gonna need some nice burn in that's going on from the screen. So getting that glow is gonna be really key, I think. And we'll bring it in a little bit, right? And that's, of course, that's really intense, but we'll just dial it down. You can get that heat coming in, that kind of glow. I think you're gonna be in a really good spot, and it's up here too. I'm just noticing. I'm just gonna do it again. Oh God. Uh, Screen. And then we'll just poop. We'll just erase all of that, and then we'll bring back just a little hit of the. Yeah, I think you get that kind of oof. It's kind of heavenly vibe going on there. But I think compositionally, I mean, you're doing quite well. Do I have this in the? Oh yeah, get those pieces highlighting a bit as well. I think playing around with your exposure a little bit maybe could help with kind of pushing that up, because I think you can get this kind of bloom in Unreal. Yeah, look at the. It's kind of cool. There we go. This is really nice as well. I think. I mean, just keep going. Just keep going. I don't know how many props you have left to go, but it's looking really good. It's looking really good. You saw me add any post processing. Uh, if the bloom is going to be kind of that strong, I would say add the bloom in at least, just so that you know where things are blowing out. That way you're texturing to that bloom. But that was the last one. Before I talk about, since we had someone new in here, is there someone still new in here? You got 10 seconds to respond. 1,000 more props. Oh my god, still here. All right, so I started streaming about, man, almost 6 years ago to force myself to get better at art, and because I have to stream to a schedule, it makes me always have to be like, on it. So, yeah. So I started doing that, and then I noticed people were staying in chat afterwards, and Discord was just recently kind of becoming a thing. So I was like, oh, I'll just make a Discord for it. You guys started joining the Discord, and then before you know it, you started referring to it as the Empire. Um, I think it had to do with the dog that I bought, Madu. He's our emperor in the lore sense of things. And you guys helped me find Madu. So when I presented him, you're like, he's our savior, he's our king, blah blah blah. It was awesome. I thought it was cute. Um, and now he's the emperor of this empire that you guys have named. And whenever anyone becomes a shogun, which is someone very useful in the server, they get a shout out um, in the main channel. Become a shogun. Need a visual? Maru's the best king. He's an emperor, man. Emperor. When you get a shout out as a shogun, yeah, Fuzel, we could bring him in here real quick. Fuzel's my partner, just chilling in chat. Um, he he's great. He's a hot dog. But yeah, okay. So when you become a Shogun Elite, we shout you out, but we do it narratively. So you get to experience yourself being written into the lore and the stories of our universe. Hello. All right, I'll go wide. There we go. Hey, buddy. Thank you. Okay, back to it. Back to it. All hail. All hail. Martistic. How you doing? Okay, next one. Here we go. Hey, Jeremy. This kitchen project is still work in progress. Some of the objects and textures are still in blockout phase. It would be nice to hear what I can improve and consider at this stage going forward. Okay. Oh man, this wood material. So, what I'll say, let me copy this and we'll bring this over here. And that's not okay. Hang on. This is probably a really bad sign. When I copy something, I have to continually right click until I see this menu pop up, and that lets me know that it was written to the RAM, and then I can paste it to the. That's what I found out. So, one thing I would note is if I make this black and white, you can see there's not too much of a difference in color. So, I would find a way to get some color in there. Also, look at your range and make sure that you're getting full range in your scene. So be careful about not having any blacks in there in the pixels. I think if I, where's my actions here? Is it this? Yes. We'll play that real quick. Okay, so what you can see here is basically in the gradient map. If I double click this. No. Oh wait. No. Come on, man. There we go. Okay, so if it's black, there's basically near no information in those pixels. Uh Same thing with lighting as the previous one. Wait, Paul, if I covered what? This filter thing that I'm using? Value? Oh, yeah, okay. Value and saturation. Yeah, color variation. Yeah, that'd be pretty good to cover, I think. So if I turn this off and I turn it back on, so what's happening is in this color range, black means there's near to no information. Um, and then going upwards through all of that spectrum, you're getting you want to stay in this orange to like blue green range, right? And I was saying if you level it, so if you see right now there's no information in here. Bringing this up, then you start to get some blues in there, and you don't want to have too much blue, but it'll let you know that you're starting to use the full range of value in your scene. And so if we do that, and then we also look at our saturation, we start turning that up, you can see all of a sudden the scene looks much more alive. And like things like, I didn't know that there were apples down here. Certain details start to pop out, and you start seeing more information. You know what I mean? Like if you go into like the thought process behind color and how our eyes perceive color and why they perceive color the way that they do. That's what you're tapping into when you add color to your scene, right? When things are red, they invoke a specific feeling. When they're green, they invoke a specific feeling. Desaturated is more of a mood or a tone. That's more of a cinematic effect, right? And so maybe that's what you want to be doing. Oh, here we go. It's this gradient map. It's what's causing this. I can do a video on like making that, because I think everyone should be using it when they're checking their ranges. But you can see, like, no matter what I do, like if I press L and I try and brighten the scene up, there is a little bit of info in there, but you can see the banding happens, and that's because there's not much info to push around. So like if I turn this up to try and negate a lot of the black pixels, the ones that are truly black will never turn into anything. They'll just stay black. So your range isn't too dark, but it could be a little bit brighter. The Fresnel highlights on the edges of the pots near the ceiling look a bit odd. Oh, these? Yeah, I think it's because that's Fresnel, right? It's not lighting. And that effect should be happening if the surface is quite soft, or like kind of like a felt like surface. So watch out for that. This thing looks really cool though. Make sure this feels more integrated also. Right now it feels still a little placed. I can see there's some darkening around it that's helping. Just pushing that a little bit further would be good. Sorry, I'm like blinding you guys. But yeah, really cool. Really cool scene. You posted two images. Oh, one's just a bit of a different framing. Let me see here. So I actually, strangely enough, I like this one more. This one's kind of following more of the rule. I think if you did this one, let me see here. Let me copy this. Yeah, decals would be good use case in here for sure. So if you follow the same rule, but, and when I say rule, I mean this. So if I go Control T, and then let's just free. No, what am I doing? Perspective? No. Warp. Did I lose my? I lost the grid that you usually get. Is it a recent Photoshop update? Is there a way to bring that back, or like place it on top? Warp. Yeah. See, I'm not getting the. Oh my god. I think it's crop. Not. Oh, you're right. There you go. Thank you. My brain. So you can see framing wise, we look at it's a little bit more to the right, and that's pretty nice. It gets a little weird over here, and there's not too much. When I say weird, I mean like how close we're getting to the edge here. And there is some stuff going on here, which could be interesting. I think when you have it this way, Man, that's a tough one. I think if you're gonna go this way, I would look even more. I would look more to that direction, but then shift right again to frame this in the same spot. Both are pretty good, yeah. I get a little hesitant about how narrow this space right here gets, but you know. But I would look at your color, your value, try and tell a story. It looks. I mean, it looks like there's a story in here, and definitely look at your shaders and understand the surfaces that you're trying to do. Oh, this is kind of. So this is this edge here. You can see where these are pointing. They seem to be pointing more that way. So if there's some wind or breeze, it'd be cool because they're moving. They're kind of flowing a little bit with the breeze. If not, if they're fully relaxed, they should be pointing straight down. And you can see how off the vector is on that. And it might be because of the size of them and the way they're hanging on the thing, but you know, blue light from a window and warm from it. Yeah, definitely playing with the temperature of like what's going on because ambient lighting uh, tends to be the color of the sky, right? And then the rest of the lighting is direct light from the sun. And with the angle of these shadows, this is a low light. This is a low sun. So we should be seeing maybe something closer to a golden hour. But yeah, super cool. Very nice. Jordan, second round of critiques for this one, as I've worked on the feedback from the Discord. So would like to hear your thoughts. So this view actually makes the asset look rather simple in its modeling, but this view looks really nice. And I think the roughness on the wood here is the part that's feeling a little odd to me. I think I'll just put myself up here. That seems like a good spot. The roughness here, I would pay attention to that. Might even be a matter of lowering the strength of the normal on the wood itself, just to kind of fake the smoothness and varnish. Hey, ASM, no problem, man. No problem. Yeah, I would make it rougher probably. Like if this is like a point 0.4, I'd go for maybe like a 0.5 or 6. But these are all looking pretty cool. There's some nice directional information happening in the I don't know if that's in the roughness or in the normal. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but this type of lines is from the machining of the metal, which means that it's not a roughness thing. It's actually if you were to bring the camera in super super close to the surface, it's grooved, right? So like the surface is really it'd be like this. So if this was if this was roughness, it'd be like little bits of information of different roughness properties that are causing it to be more rough or less rough. But if it's machined, it's likely this type of stuff happening. And if that's the case, this would be normal information versus roughness. So I think if you can get that into the normal, really low value, it'll change the like on a per pixel point, it'll change the angle of the normal vector. Old guns weren't machined. Yes, true. If it was cleaned with like a what do you call it? Like a metal, you know when you clean a pan and you're using the metal scrubber? If you cleaned that way to get like rust off and stuff, you would get the same effect. It doesn't have to be machined, I guess, to get that look. But that's a very good point. Like maybe this type of detail, maybe that detail's coming in from it constantly spinning. Yes, steel brush. Thank you. Don't do that on your walk, man. Don't do that on your walk. Otherwise, I think the materials are looking pretty cool. The edges look really interesting and nice. Super nice, smooth transitions in the normals here. Really cool to see. And the attention to detail with the little type of flower decals and stuff that are happening in there, it's really nice. Yeah, it's an anastrophic effect that can cause this type of stuff. It'd be horizontal, vertical, or radial. Hello, new viewer. Nice to see you. Oh man, anastrophe or anastrophic. Um, I would Google that because I will probably explain it wrong. Okay, Ben Planet. Any general thoughts would be great. Yes, Google it. It's a succession of stripes. Okay, so any general thoughts would be great. Recently, I've been focusing on lighting and improving composition. So thoughts on this would be very useful. I mean, overall, this looks pretty cool. Is the So one thing I'm noticing is the ground is quite soft, and maybe that is fine. The reason the softness I think is happening is because a lot of this looks like it's sculpted as one, right? Like all the little rocks on the ground there. I think when you see it here, they all kind of feel like they're part of the floor. So it's yeah, it's half stylized. It's semi stylized. There's some stuff going on that can be a little hard to explain. The There's some a little bit of grass here that I think could benefit from you manually placing it, like on the little piece down here. It looks like maybe you sprayed it down, and so it's just kind of following the normal. You should just be able to go into edit and manually select them and move them around, even if you've sprayed it down using like a landscape tool. Like the roof, for example, is definitely reads as stylized to me. Yeah, just with the scale of the details. Definitely. Yeah, I can see that. Um, the brick pattern here, or the stone pattern, I find really interesting that you're using three different types of stone. That's probably the number one thing that's bugging me. I like this language you've got going on here, and I think you're able to mix it in a little bit with this type of stuff, but I'd be really careful. Like if you want to keep all three of them, which you can, that is up to you. I would at least change the color of these to be kind of in a similar palette to the way everything else is going. I would probably prefer that you shape these closer to this pattern, and then just kind of start painting that in the same way. What's really interesting is you could remove all of these, right? I get that you're trying to get the silhouette changed, so that's important, and I think that's needed. That type of detail will help a lot. Um, but if you were to cut extra edges in here and have all the extra verts for vertex painting, you can actually paint those details in here, and it'll try and it'll attempt to retain because of where the verts are. With the vertex painting, you can kind of shape the same pattern. I think where it's working really well is here. It doesn't feel strange that these are blending together, but I think when you see it so large scale, it feels strange that it's three different types of stone, as well as like the window frames, feeling like they're placed on the surface. I think the best way to combat that is to actually inset the details. If they're supposed to be on the surface like that, I would build them out of the same kind of technique you're doing here with these pieces, and then do some insetting to get that depth. And yeah, get that glass nice and rough, or nice and shiny rather. The ivy looks pretty good as far as distribution goes. It looks a little blurry, and I think, man, I guess I need to see it in motion, but the overall scene is pretty nice. I would kill that gap there, and these little gaps. They're so big that it makes the pieces feel lighter or not as real. If that makes sense. Um, yeah, and then let me see. Just gonna run a thing here. I think you're pretty balanced, which is really nice. You're just missing out on your brighter range. So if you, oh man, if we do this, you bring that up, you can see how much information starts coming through. We're losing stuff here, but yeah, I think also saturation could be boosted because then you start to get some more separation between the background and your building. It does start to go a little bit more into the stylized, and I think you could even push the saturation of the ivy a little bit. Also, in your framing, be super careful with like this clip here. Like I think what I would love to see is this image, but like super wide or super tall. Sorry, something like this. I don't know, maybe like that. I don't know. I'm just dinking around here. Let's see if we can. So I'm not too much of a fan of clipping or getting stuff near the edge, but if you do it, you do it within a range that kind of works for what you're focusing on. So like space wise, this is okay, but maybe you want to go in and like kill these little areas here. Maybe that highlight shouldn't be so bright, and then maybe this guy here. Hang on here. Remove that one. You get less weirdness. That one's kind of okay. But it really depends, I think, on like what you're going for. You turn that saturation up. Dude, look at that. So, oh man, it's pretty. I mean, you could turn the saturation up here, and then we could go in and we could turn it up even more for the ivy. Then just invert that, and then just really paint in where the ivy's doing its magic. Basically, wherever it's green, just kind of pushing your green values up a bit. Wood as well looks usually pretty good. You take this and lower the opacity and just turn it up just a little bit. So I think you see what I mean when it's about like pushing these colors and just trying to get some life into your scene. It'll do wonders. You could also, I guess, if you grabbed all this, we'll just paste it, bring the levels up a little bit, and then we'll dupe it. Let's do a blur. We'll do the same bloom thing. I really like bloom. If you can't tell, um, invert that. We'll do in areas where I guess it would make sense. I'm just gonna hit this whole side here, and then we'll really tone it down. And then the other thing I would say you want to do is before that bloom. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, so we got the bloom going. Let's hide that. We'll grab this again, paste it, and then we'll do a filter, others, high pass. We'll go in and really focus down some of these smaller details, and then you can do a overlay. And when you do an overlay, you can see it sharpens up details, really makes details pop. You can do that everywhere, or again, you can do a mask, invert it, and then really paint where you want the details to pop. Maybe around the ivy, you really get that crunchy, and you let the rest of the details kind of be soft. Maybe up here you get some sharpness. It's like finer detail areas, maybe the grass a little bit. and then you put your bloom on top of that. Delicious. Yeah, you get a few more floating rocks on here. That would be super nice. But yeah, I think we went through a lot on here. Oh, here's your reference too. Oh, that's super cool. Yeah, you see how much blooming is going on here, and there's a lot of I think all the rock language is very similar, or stone rather. And even with this edge being so sharp, you can see this is actually flush with the surface. But yeah, I think that's one way to. If you look at this one and then we go to this one, you can see how much more it's just kind of popping. I think from maybe our original. I don't know if the original is messed with or not. I don't think it is. Anywho, super cool. It looks really nice. Okay, Sparnana, music studio. Any general feedback would be awesome or greatly appreciated. Okay. So of course, there's details that are just a little too dark, but I mean, I think you're capturing the feeling of this type of space. Don't hesitate to add double the amount of geometry you're adding or that you're using on your props. Um, yeah. Oh, this is cool. Ha, that's cool. That lava lamp is scaring the crap out of me. I think they've always been wider at the bottom. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, bro, that's gonna tip. It's gonna tip, bro. Don't touch it. Oh, this is cool. Man, so I'll be honest. I'll be honest with this scene. So this is a cool scene, and I like it. It's a cool idea. You don't see scenes like this too often. This part of it, this is where you could go freaking crazy, and I think you should. I think you should go in here and go to town on this console. I build the whole thing. You just have to build like that part, right? And then you just dupe it a couple times, build some of these parts, model this all in, double your geometry on your chairs. The cups could be higher poly as well. I think you're using maybe about 2/3 of the poly count, or maybe even a third of the poly count that you could be. And cables, yes, cables everywhere. Let's go. Um, there's a few here, and I think a camera angle that's quite low is nice for the set. But then up high will show like the inner workings of like where all the pedals are at and the cable, because you see it's all right here. You're just not showing it off. And this glass I don't think would be that dirty. You want to show those records off, right? Yeah, I don't even think you have to bake those knobs. You could just model it, add a bevel, and weight it. The focal length here feels really low. Oh, here? So I like the focal length here. But I don't it's just it needs to be fully realized. It feels like it's halfway there. And being generous with the geometry I think would be really important. I feel like there's supposed to be something up here. It's an area of detail without detail. Oh, David says as well to make sure that you're using reference for your drums. Just oh yeah, yeah, I see it now. Like knowing how these are all connected is going to be really important. This guitar as well, the neck of this, maybe it's the angle, but the neck feels really short. Are these both guitars? Because one should be a bass, right? Anyways, it's all these little details, and just thinking about like how do you push them further. Like these, for each one of these records, I would put like a little gold little plate thing under here that says what it is, or on the frame. I do like that you're telling a story though. It's really nice. You gotta be telling stories. You know what I mean? And I think the only other thing that's kind of could use the love is the roughness and the material understanding. Knowing like what this surface is, what these scratches are. Right now, it's hard to read like what type of top, like tabletop this is. Oh man, I can feel the rug. Yeah, the neck here feels odd. So I would definitely look at that. It's all about your references. References are king. It's a really cool scene though. I would just push all the buttons that we were talking on, or take what we've discussed and carry it into your next scene. I wouldn't want you to feel like you need to redo your scene or anything like that. Um, what you should be doing is just learning and then moving forward with the next one. But it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Vince, what's happening? What is this? Everything's a whip. Of course. Of course it is. Is it ever done? Is it? Uh, Step thickness, hand railings, unless you want to live on the dangerous side. Is this Lego? This feels very Lego with the like ivy pieces coming down. You know? I mean, you said it's all work in progress, so I feel like I can attack anything and everything. Feels Lego though. Yeah, this these parts do. I mean, I would love if this was all fully realized, and then you just saw like Lego Batman coming in. He's like, "Yo, I didn't even see this guy." Um, these barrels feel weirdly uh big. I don't know, but overall, I really like the framing. I find the scale, all that stuff is quite interesting. You've got some nice directionality on the rock surfaces. I think it gets a little wishy-washy here, very subtle. But I think if it was more like following that same angle, and then giving us a better visual on the door, like I feel like this should just go just right here. Maybe this can move to the right a little bit. That way you can widen the frame just a little bit more. I think that would go a long way. But overall, man, pretty cool scene. Pretty cool scene. Dare I say you should just fill the bottom here with a little bit of water and then just put some catwalks. Keep the stairs, just put some catwalks here. You get some cool reflections and stuff. Oh my god. Oh my god. It'll be pretty sick looking. You get some underlighting coming through the water. But yeah. I don't have too much to say on this. It's looking cool so far. This guy, he's just hiding there. I mean, you could either raise the water up or you could lower the floor a bit more. So that way you still have these elements and you just take some of these pieces, push them down, fill with water, and then you just add your little catwalk. You can lead to more too, right? Like the catwalk, so maybe it goes over here, but maybe there's more catwalk that goes off into the shadow. So you don't even see like, oh, there's more to this. When this is animated, because you're gonna have a movie, right? Uh, I would love to see some like dripping water and whatnot. Add a giant puddle, easy win. You're not wrong. Cool. Yeah, I don't have too much else to say on that. All right, Richard, what's good? Holy bright, this is bright. Work in progress, modular. 2 weeks into the project, it's for a school application. Join the Discord today. Been watching your videos for some time. Really thankful for all the feedback. Hey, Richard, welcome. You heard I like Bloom, and apparently Richard's been watching for a while. He's already put the Bloom in. No, this is looking pretty cool. I think the way that you're thinking about your modularity is pretty good. Modularity is all about rules, right? So it's not about how do I make something modular right. It's how do I, like, what do I build rule set wise for my modular kit? So if like the length of this wall, let's say this wall is like, I don't know, 4 meters. Every wall piece should probably be 4 meters. How you deal with your corners should be the same for all of your corners, right? How you deal with the top part of the building will be a very specific and unified direction. And yeah, just make sure you're on the grid. If you're lucky, you've got a program that allows you to make any piece the grid. So like if you're like, okay, I'm gonna work with this one, it could be off the grid, but as long as this one's on its own local grid, everything can grid to that piece, right? This allows you to rotate and tilt buildings while still keeping them on their own grid. But I would say it's looking pretty good so far. I would look at your materials and really make sure that the way things are connected makes sense. I mean, I think you have the right idea. I think for this type of work, it's gonna be all about your roughness mask, making sure your albedos look good, and then a mask for breaking up the entire surface. Maybe even a world space with a gradient that's got some patterns in it, so that way you're just naturally getting some breakup on a macro scale. That'll unify the entire building and kind of make it feel like one and not in a so modular. You may have reference on this as well, but I would pay attention to how much room is above the window and think about like when you're in that room, where's the ceiling at and where's the top of the building at? Because there needs to be some thickness there, right? Likely you probably just need to raise it up by another meter, and that should give you enough room. And that's where I would say like that's where I would say when you're doing this set, right? Let's say it's like this. I don't know if maybe it's here. I could be wrong. But let's say there's 3 here. No, it's not there. Where is it? No, it is there. Okay, I'm not crazy. We're okay. Everything's okay. Yeah, so if you got these 3, I would put another one for how you manage the top. And that'd be your last piece cuz that'll help you solve your corners, right? And then you can have your whole corner strip as well and have it in a way that's predictable to you. Anyways, it's pretty cool. Right now, it's quite hard to read. It might be the bloom, and it might be the fact that your albedos are maybe too bright or too high in value for the white information. Make sure to get ambient occlusion in there as well. Ambient occlusion in there as well, just because all of these little details are gonna get lost when they're in shadow, and this whole building's in shadow right now, right? I think if you have ambient occlusion, the whole bottom floor is just all of a sudden gonna pop in detail. Just made this a few days ago. Would be glad to hear your suggestions and feedback. Next project to use in my next project that I think I'm working on. I mean, this looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, man. Ooh, some nice. Oh man, hang on. That right there. You see that roughness shift right on the edge? Oh, so this all looks pretty cool. There's some nice like detail in the scratches in the roughness. Oh wow, that's satisfying. So there's some strange stylized edging happening here, like a dark line and then a light line. Watch out for those. Ooh, this looks, man, why isn't this rotating? Yeah, this is pretty sick. That is pretty high poly. I bet you could half that and no one would know. Doc, how you doing? But this looks sick. I like it. It looks really cool. think really paying attention to how your edge highlights are happening. You've got a lot of storytelling in the roughness and in the albedo, so I think that's all good. Um, Looks like a great exercise of an asset. Hmm. Ooh, that back area here with this. I want to see this area like up close. Oh, that's cool. Very nice. Very nice. You know that these teeth are so close together that you might actually be able to bake that with a displacement or like a height map and just parallax it and then just make sure that you do a bevel on the back here and you can fake that depth there. The gear size don't match up and don't actually touch. Oh yeah, it's true. I didn't see that. I was so fascinated with the movement. If you can get those to match up in the future, that's gonna be key. Oh, there's a seam here in the I don't know what the threading. Is that threading modeled? It looks like it is. Man, there's some nice little details here. This like circular scratching pattern. Yeah, you're talking about this right here. How they meet. Either way, pretty sick. That's one of those details I'd watch out for though in the future. And you could probably, like I was saying, half the poly count. No, no. The next challenge I would say is if you're gonna make something like this, I would see if you can make it look good with 1K. Because we still don't do 4096 in games. Maybe in cinematics. Curious wants to see rust flakes, so you know she's serious. Pretty cool though. Luciano, let's see. Hey Den, lurker here. Oh, I appreciate you sticking your neck out. Um, let's see here. Oh man, look at these close-ups. Let's go. Okay, so lurker here. This is my current piece I'm working on. Metal is still a work in progress. Only the base material right now. Going to implement a tarnished look later. So this is nice, nice, Eric. I'll let you call him out. I don't do that. I used to do it a long time ago. So, Holy Emperor, I need to see this glass shader. So I'll say right now, this is probably the best glass I've seen in a long time. Those cracks in there, those are pretty impressive. So this is a kind of like the kind of tinge that you're talking about adding in later. This kind of browning effect here. This tarnishing effect. Yeah, that glass is sick. Like really nice. Fuzel's always lurking, it's true. Is this 100% done in the material? That's a good question. I want to say that's modeled. Yeah, because you can see there's a little bit of warpage. Yeah, I want to say it's modeled. Let's copy the image here, and I'll show you what is happening. So you can see there's a line here, and then the line is offset, and then it's back again. So there's some refraction going on as well. Oh, yeah, you can see it really well here. Yeah, I think it's modeled. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get the shadows in here as well. That's another thing that's really kind of making it happen is there's some shadowing that's occurring. I have great eyes. See these? These help a lot. They help a ton. Cool. This is really nice. I think once you get some tarnished details in there, it's gonna look awesome. And I think you would benefit a lot from having the camera move around the surface, so that way you can see the lighting and the surface kind of change and shift around, and you can really show off the glass itself and like how it's tarnished. Cries in Elden Ring language. Felled. Um, cool. Dude, look at this one. Yeah, you've really captured that glass there. See, I don't think it can just be the light rotating because you're not going to really appreciate the refraction. I think if you're seeing the refraction shift, whatever's under it as the camera moves, or as the object rotates and shifts, or the camera's moving around it, you're going to really, it's going to look good. It's going to look real good. A slight tilt animation, yeah. All right, Adam, it's your time. The time is 9. Okay, so we got. Hang on here. So here's the original concept, right? We've been looking at this on and off randomly, just sending me screenshots and whatnot. So we're just gonna grab this image. I guess, are you following it? Yeah, yeah. This is the trying to be the same framing, right? At last, we left the dentist. Hella cavities, man. Hella. Let's do this here. And I have no idea how we even try and match this. I don't think we can. Anywho, so one of the things that's quite interesting about this scene is you're seeing a lot of stuff, right? I think with your scene, we're getting a very um, geometrically framed setup going on here. The ground maybe also is a little strong in the displacement. I like the idea though. Um, I would really play with where that happens, and I would not hesitate to break away from straight edges. Like, I know you're rounding here, but I mean, this is like the curve of this, and like what you're seeing here leads me to believe that there's some skewing. Of course, it's a concept, right? So it'll have its moments. When you look up here, you're seeing a lot of detail. You see up there. Yeah, right now we're just missing a lot of. Let's see here. I mean, the thickness that we're getting in this beam here, I think, should really be added to your scene, and really thinking about like the depths, right? So right now you've got this is forward, and then this is a flat surface here. But like, see how thin this is? This is forward, but then this is forward, and then this goes back. There's some cracks here going on. These are in front, then there's glass behind it that's further back. Getting all of that kind of depth and parallaxing is going to be it's a must-have, I think. It looks like there's a bit of corrugated metal here that's kind of like in panels. I think making sure that you solve that detail. Maybe not so. You can see right now this is quite forward. It's quite in front of, like, it's happening roughly here, where I think um, this is further back. Man, this is really interesting. Yeah, you're making some choices. Like, there's stairs here, but no stairs here, and then the edge here, the what is it, the curb is open for the steps, but then it continues around and then curves around the front past this door. Whereas with yours, this happens back here. You see the stairs on this one. It just feels it feels inspired, but a different place at the same time. That is not terrifying at all. I don't. that, I'm Rabbit. I am vengeance. Um. Hmm. That's the dentist. Yo. Yeah, a lot of that patched feeling that you see in the concept. I totally agree, Vince. Um. The concept has a lot of patched surfaces and like layering, and I think getting that effect across would be really, really nice. I also would love to see you attempt in like the polishing phase to get this kind of hatched pattern going on in your materials. I'll leave it there. I won't tell you to do it. You can try it if you want, but save it for later. That seems like a polish thing. Um, but yeah, pay attention to all the layering, the bending, the warping of things. Yeah, I would nail the camera angle and nail the scale of everything. Right now, this is all very uniform. I know it's quite organic in the concept. I think this beam is actually thicker than this one, which is really weird, but whatever. And then really capture the color of the lighting. You can see the wetness of the ground here is capturing all of that kind of green bluish tinge. And this wall is actually quite light, which is allowing for the surface to be quite bright versus the cables. So thinking about this wall being lighter. I mean, a lot of the walls are a bit lighter in the concept, but yeah, I think you're in a pretty good spot. And it's just a matter of continuing to push forward. You definitely had to play with the green a bit more as well. Um, but yes. Oh, you tried a vertical shot as well. Let me see here. Yeah, you are, man. The vertical shot's cool, but it's losing a lot, especially once you see what the concept offers. What would you say about ditching the concept's composition? It's real wonky and just using it as a spiritual concept of sorts. I mean, I totally get the spiritual concepts of sorts. Um, I would start to hinge on certain details that are here that are making the shot really interesting. So, for example, I would probably take this building and just push it further back. That way, you get this kind of angle on it. I would take all of the pillars and probably make them some similar in thickness. I think what we're missing right now in this scene is a lot of that layering and depth in all of the pieces. It's getting there though. It's getting there. Yeah, you see all this stuff in the back? You could just grab all the pieces that are here, duplicate them, and move them back there. And as you update the meshes, it'll just update back there as well. And you can use that for silhouette and edge highlighting with like strategically placed light sources. Just cram it with detail. It's cool. It's cool. Neville, what's up, man? It's been a while. Good to see you. Yeah, all the nice stuff I can make really quickly now that the mask tileable shader is done. Nice, dude. Shaders to save the day. Shaders to save the day. You're moving to Malmo soon. Oh, no way. What are you moving here for? Was it what's the occasion? All right, Costa. Let's Costa Lazar. I think it's a extremely work in progress. Noted. Let's check out the craziness. Let's check it out. Okay. Going to return to this project soon after a long break. That's this is kind of a terrifying scene. Holy cow. All right. Well, you definitely have your work cut out for you. That is a lot of characters in the scene. I don't know if you want to do that many characters. Um, Relocation, nice. Got a lot of friends from school who got a job in Malmo. You probably met some of them. Oh yeah, yeah. The games industry is getting quite large over here. Yeah, this looks really cool. I would see if you could find some people who want to make some characters. Yeah, the shot from above is super interesting. You could do something where like the little openings are really dark, that like they go off in the darkness, and then you can just have the glowing eyes. You could maybe sculpt a few like rat or mice noses, snouts, if you want to call them that, and then have them just sticking out of the shadows. That could be kind of cool. Falter, how you doing? Yeah, a little bit. Quite interesting though. Be careful with the strength of your chromatic aberration. I would half it. Usually, if you notice it, if people notice it, then it's too strong. If it starts to give you a weird glow, it's too strong. Working and feeling sick, but been lurking. Oh man. Well, hopefully you feel better. Yeah, this shot actually is really strong. I actually really like this one. The edge at the bottom here is perhaps too close to the edge. I would actually pull the camera back and just let the stone continue along that bottom edge here. Um, Really interesting though. I'd be curious to see where this is going. Dragon's Quest by Andy Dixon, huh? Really cool. Oh man, how is DAE next? All right, we'll look at your stuff here in a second. But yeah, I would think as you go forward with this, think about like what comes out of these. Is there going to be like dripping here? It looks like there's some large scale ladder type thing going on here. That's kind of interesting. I would definitely try and connect everything with grunge and dirtiness or like roughness streaks down like where things drip and all those glorious details. You do critiques once a month, right? I do them every 3 weeks. That's the idea, anyways. Sometimes something happens and we have to skip one, but the idea is every 3 weeks. Pay attention though in the Discord. There's a channel called Stream-Info that'll be getting updated soon. That'll give you some more information on when things are happening. Loic, let's check out this. Made this a while ago. I never received feedback on this on any other materials, and I know big mistake. Never do this, kids. I'm I'm really trying to get the best from Substance Designer. Yeah, Substance Designer is a fun tool. Yeah, there's some really harsh transitions between the ripples here, um, and then leading to the sand itself. So looking at reference really closely is going to be key. Steady of a beach ground as water remains between the ripples. I tried to pay extra attention to what was also going on around the water, such as foam. I mean, I can see what you're doing here. It's just a matter of like pushing further and understanding where things break down and where they work. Like you see these harsh lines here, those are where I feel like it's kind of breaking apart. And there's some weird fracturing in the sand that doesn't make too much sense to me, but you only get good at Substance Designer by continuously making materials. And I'm not saying make a material, okay, now make another one, now make another one. You got to take breaks as well, of course. Like no one can keep going. They have to take breathers. But continue to practice it. Keep going on it. I like the range that you're working with in your roughness, and it's just a matter of like really pushing how the surface is working. When you're working on your materials as well, what I would suggest doing is don't look at albedo at all in the creation of the material. Look at height information. Apply that to the surface you're gauging it on. So you've got your height, you got your normal, and in your albedo, just like plug in a ambient occlusion just to kind of read the forms and shapes and really nail that look, and especially the roughness. So essentially, shape language, roughness gets locked in, and then you can do your albedo. But yeah. Oh yeah, albedo is like super last, super last. Really cool though, and welcome. One of the guys on my team, actually, the team that I lead, is from Houst. Cool. All right, Pink Beast. Leaving here, my last project. Yo, look at that. Who's that? Wouter. Wouter. I can't say his last name. I can't say his first name right, but I say Wouter. Wouter. Wouter Gillian. Yeah. Okay, so looking at this creation here, leaving this here, last project in case there's some time, would appreciate any kind of feedback. It's been it's been so long working on this that I'm blind to improvements on my own. Okay, let's go. Oh man, there's a video. Ooh, that's nice with the you're like moving, you're panning down, moving forward, and you're rack focusing at the same time. Sick. Okay, in that video, so this flag is very flat feeling at least, and it seems to be really glossy. But yeah, camera works pretty cool. The one thing I would say about this focus is that edge. See how it meets the top, and then it just kind of stays there. It just stays there, and it's keeps. I would maybe look down a little bit more. That way, it just cuts, and you because I keep seeing it like meeting the top edge. Um, yeah, I mean this looks really cool. The environment is surprisingly empty considering the detail that we're looking at. Hmm. Man, look at that. That's super cool. This is a great shot. Man, you know what would be really cool? Is to get some of your guys' environments, like this one, for example, and then just do some camera work to different music and, just like let's try and capture a mood. We're not building the environment, we're just trying to get a feeling. Cuz I can see this shot. Oh, there's plenty of I want to add bloom to all of this stuff. Get out of here. I think this shot is really strong, and it's like imagine if it was already moving left, and it goes, the scene's black, it goes, and you get that long like echo of like, and the camera's panning, and then it pans to reveal this guy. You know how terrifying that would be, and amazing, and like awe, like what the, like the camera pans you got going on in here are really cool. I can't listen to this with music because then you guys will be like, I'll probably get like slammed with some DMCA thing. Who knows? Um, Presentation is really nice. The It's interesting. The I want to say that the way that this mesh is formed across the negative space of the face. Music was copyright free though. Oh, what? Okay, hang on. Hang on. I'm a sucker for this stuff. Let me hear it first. Ah, everyone's got some weird expect. Better be metal. I better hear a chorus. Where's the choir? I Seeing me. I was thinking like really heavy, like some like, what do you think the freaking, you know, those really long sound effects that you would hear, like a something fell in the distance and just echoed. From like, oh, what is that movie called? Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind. All your students use dubstep and they lose marks. That's not fair, Paul. Come on, man. Lots of reverb. Yeah, I would say like a echoing reverb, like uh, effect. I mean, if your students use dubstep, there's nothing wrong with that. They're just missing out on more feeling, right? Like really capturing the, like, oh man, don't say that, Jer. They look up to you. I mean, they can use dubstep, but it's not going to make it better. If they can use music that really captures the feeling you're seeing in front of you, and it feels like your emotions are being heard and then reverberated back into your ears, that's powerful. And dubstep can't do that. It can do that when you're at a concert, but I wouldn't knock their points for putting dubstep on it. They're just not going to get extra points. It's like bringing it over the top, you know. Um, so I'm just gonna copy this image here, and we're gonna bring us into Photopoo, and we're gonna play around with this. So what I was gonna say actually about the mask before we get into this is it doesn't really feel like it's resting on anything or like relaxed. You know how when you see chainmail, because we've all seen chainmail, right? Everyone's wearing chainmail these days. It's the new hot thing. Um, it has like it's heavy, right? So it gets these like wrinkles where it catches your ears and then it wrinkles around like the neck area. This feels very like skin tight to no skin at all, right? Like you don't. It's hard to make sense of the shape and the feeling of it. It's lacking some weight. My email's chainmail.com. Nice. Yeah, I'll wear a chainmail for a picture. Just as a little tangent, the thing I'm really excited about, you know that Pablo Escobar gif where he's sitting alone by himself? I really, 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 like badly want to find every shot that looks very similar to that in Sweden and just sit there with Maru and get every single shot exactly in the same timing and frame, and then we'll just turn it into a gif and we'll just put that all over the internet. And they'll be like, "What is there? Are they remaking the Pablo Escobar story? What's happening? Why does he have a dog?" Anywho, okay, so chainmail. right? Getting some weight on that so it feels like it's really hanging, I think would be really really powerful. The other thing is the way that the ambient lighting is kind of working here. So everything's pretty even across the walls. Is Pablo back? He never left. You see how it gets dark in here, right? I think you're missing out on some of that effect in the upper area here. Maybe it becomes too busy as well. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. I mean, oh boy. I'm just gonna we're just gonna turn the saturation up. Don't mind how red that is now. Actually, we'll dupe it. Then we'll turn the saturation up, and then we'll just we'll just mask those out. There you go. Okay. All right. So this upper area here, let's let's dupe it one more time, and we'll just go for luminosity, and then I'll just. Oh man, look at that! Oh my god, why? What is wrong with me? Why do I like the bloom? Um, Midtones, shadows. No, it's not. It's not working here. Hang on, man. I remember when bloom was like such a cop out, and people were like, "Why are you?" They were they hated on it so much. It was like when you hated on. Well, I mean, I think people still hate on it, but when you would hate on the uh, the clay material in designer or in ZBrush. Let me see here what's going on. I'm trying to get some shape poppage. Man, you see how much information's going on in there though that we just don't see. I'm gonna do this so we don't. Oh, God. So we don't bloom out the freaking windows too much. And don't do it, then resist, resist. Hey, we've got 15 minutes as well. If anyone wants to post anything, we actually got through everything, which is pretty crazy. Um, I think I'm just gonna have to. We're just gonna have to do this. I know it's blasphemy, but we're going for it. We're going for gold. It's happening. It's happening. That's not even the right. None of this is helping me. You see, by getting those details will pop, and then maybe we can push it down a little bit here. Hmm. Hmm. You really want to just see just a little bit of it, because I think if you can get that type of information to pop out, oh man, it just looks so cool, and it really like frames the really cool scene though. Like holy cow. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, the only other thing I was going to mention actually on this scene is the emptiness that I see in this shot. Man, this is so cool looking. It's like it just feels like there's supposed to be stuff here, candles or something. Maybe something on tops of these, or just like this whole area kind of filled with you know how you get the what are those called? Like these and like candle. Man, this is all war centric. Like the flame. Getting those all back here and just kind of like all the little trinkets and stuff. I don't know. It just feels very empty. It doesn't really feel like there's something happening either, I guess is the other thing. Candle holders, yeah. What a great comment. Oh, this guy? Yeah, I've heard this guy's pretty cool. Oh, this person's cool too. Oh, look at these people. Hey, hey, all the cool people are here. Looking at cool art. No, I'm here. Am I cool like you guys? There we go. uh, this is yeah. This scene's really cool, man. And don't worry, I mean this with all the love. All the love. You guys are awesome. I don't know what else you could add to the I mean, I don't think you need to add too much to it really. It's just it feels like there's something missing. It's really provocative though. Or invoking. Like I feel like, "Oh, what am I looking at? Like what is this?" It's really cool. Well, I hope that was all helpful because I feel like I was just kind of spinning in circles there for a second. It's getting all Pablo on you. Um, Axel Plosion, and I always hesitate with your name. School's been keeping me busy, so here's a quick lighter from Metro I did the other day. Oh, cool, nice. Yeah, this little connection piece here, I thicken that up just to kind of like make it more prevalent. Hey, Polygon, have a good one. I think the lighting is missing something. Do much light could use more dark areas. Yeah, it is quite bright. Maybe like pushing the areas in the back down. Kind of like what's happening here. Like these little areas could be darker in the distance. Pretty cool though. Man, I have not yet enjoyed Metro. I should probably play that. But yeah, I would think about how things function and pieces that are connected, trying to make sure that they stay highlighted. Um, just by the how much they're sticking out, right? Right now this is quite thin, probably gets lost pretty easily. Oh man, I remember this. Okay, so last stretch for final render. If you have some critiques that can be adjusted before my final render, would be awesome. So there's a whole lot going on in this image. I think if there's anything you could do, it's to try and control the saturation. Because you can see like, so if we copy this, let's let's paste. So if we make this black and white, you can see how there's not really anything pulling your focus to like, oh, what am I supposed to be looking at, right? But then when you put the color on, the color's telling me to look over here and then over here and then like I don't know what to look at. I think taking I mean, I know you're just trying to get a final render. Oh man, look at Ollie with the yeet. I know you're trying to get a final render, so I apologize for this. But doing something like really pushing the signage, you know, building this all out. I think this would work wonders. Let me just do this. Because then it's like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be looking at, you know? And like getting these hits of color, I'd really control where the fire is happening, just so that we're not fighting for attention. Let me see if I can. No, this is not going to help me at all. Um, we can. I'm gonna go with just full on desaturation, and then we'll just boop invert this, and then we can just kill saturation where we want to. Like, I wouldn't even worry about that being fire. This is burning. Like, I would think about the fire happening in localized areas that can expand beyond. Like, if there's fire there, there should be like burning everything over here, right? Hmm. Oh, now you guys are piling on the feedback. You want me to sing this scene as it is now, if there's time? Yeah, go for it. You'll be the last one. Dude, look at this too. Oh man, like this stuff here. Is that like, you know, this type of stuff? Oh, dude, this is like what dreams are made out of. I'm like trying to figure out how I blend this in here nicely. There you go. That kind of helps. You can see like you want everything to be focusing at this entrance. Or pick scent. Lies. Oh my god, there they are. Oh Jesus. Okay. Anyways, Nicholas, hopefully this is helpful. I would try and tone back the noisiness, and I think it's in the color. It's in, like maybe I can go like pushing the color down just a little bit. You can see how like now that green feels a little bit more natural. It's not popping out as much. Maybe I can go a little bit lighter as well and just kind of try and push some of the colors back a little bit, even lighter than that. You just want to be looking here. Man, I think lowering the saturation on your trees could really help. Actually, like look how nice this feels really good now versus like super saturated. Should there be lights on the big sign? I have no idea. But yeah, cool. I would try all that out. All right, Ollie. We got some wood materials here. Look at that. Look at that fine grain. Your reference. Oh god. So you probably already know this, but the way that this is breaking up, of course, does not really make sense to me. This thing here, like, I think when it breaks up, you're getting some of it happening. This kind of directional stuff. Oh, I mean, I see it. I see it. It's really interesting. It feels like instead of these being positive here, it should be negative out here. So they're like scratch marks. Got some reverse scratching. Not sure if I will show a blend at all, to be honest. All right. Well, I just like shaking my monitor. Yeah, okay. Hmm. You know, what'd be really interesting is to just take the bottom half of this, like maybe like the bottom 10%, and just put a paint on it, and make sure that paint like fills in all the little crevices, you know, so like the wood grain is still present in the paint pattern, like in the normal and the height, but it's really like softened. So that way you just have some type of um, like contrast between the materials. I think that could help a little bit. That way we're not just looking at a wood material, right? You get some like another material in there. I have a tint parameter, so it could do. I'm literally saying make it look like you painted the bottom half of this, and the the normal and height information should look like it's being softened because the paint is filling in all those details. Yes. Pretty cool though. Man, I feel like I've seen this happen before. I just don't know like where. It's interesting. The minus those scratches, the way this is breaking up is really intriguing. Because I can see the logic behind it. It's actually being affected based on what's under it, which is really cool. Anywho, very nice. Alexandra, look at this. Look at this big boy. Dude, that's pretty cool. So I think if there's just wanted to know how the texturing looks. So it's very what's the word? It all looks like concrete or like a stone. So maybe this tongue too rough. Yeah, I would make the tongue more shiny than this. Like this should be more rough than the tongue, I think. But think about like what's the material supposed to be? Because it does kind of maybe even plaster. Yeah. Right now it feels like it's a sculpture, and then it's like glazed in on this area. So thinking about those details, also figuring out how to get these 2 points to meet, so it doesn't feel so much like a two pieces of geometry just meeting up where they meet up. The other thing is I would maybe figure out how to like with this bottom edge not being so beveled. That way it looks a little bit more grounded in the way it's attached to the ground or how it meets the ground. Um, I mean, it feels like it's supposed to be a statue because it's green up here. The neck feels a little weak, thickness wise. I think if you could connect that a little bit stronger, that would help. You were going for your statue. Oh, okay. I mean, if you're going for a statue, I would just make it. You know, how, like statues are like that one color. Like it's all like stone, right? And then you have like moss build up and gunk, and then don't forget the bird poop. Bird poop's super important because then it'll make a whole lot more sense. And the roughness on it is going to be pretty rough. It's going to be like a point 0.8 or so. But I think that would go a long way for really like making this look good. But it's pretty cool. I appreciate you posting as well. Okay. Bro, this is starting to look pretty spicy. Wow, you did a really good job of this corner. It's definitely toned itself down. I don't even know if you I don't think you need to look this way. Hey, no problem, Alex. Thanks for posting. I don't think you need to look over here so much. This shot also doesn't feel like it's needed because it's just showing how little you're building for this area here, right? Here we'll let's do this here. Oh, there's a door there that you're sculpting. Okay, okay. What are you gonna do with this big open floor area? That feels very open to me. This is actually this shot here. Let me see here. So this shot's cool. This shot is really nice. I actually look at that outside area. What's going on out there? Interesting. Door, carpet, small debris. Nice. This area here feels really good. Um, Again, pay attention to the. Oh man, what is? These are really high res, aren't they? Yeah. I know your scene needs to be pretty dark, so I understand that. I think little hot spots by the candles is good. That's some good balance. Bringing that up. Let's see what we're looking at now. You can see how much more you can see, but it's still dark. Pretty nice. Want to have some banners hanging in the back wall or something from the ceiling? Nice. Yeah, getting the ceiling to be more incorporated into the scene is going to be, that would be a really good move, I think. Yeah, just something hanging here or back here. You could have one just off to the side here. Can kind of break the framing here. But honestly, man, this shot right here is I'm digging it. Also, don't forget to play with the cool color a little bit more. I think I could dupe this and then maybe do like a um, filter here. Camera raw filter. Let's go. This filter's pretty cool. Okay, so let's take a temperature, cool it off a little bit, and you see what's going on there. Hit OK. And you can see now you're getting some cooler colors in there as well. Might be a little strong. Let's tone it back a little. But getting that duality, that battle between the cool and the warm, and of course the bloom, because that's the theme of the stream. The scene's looking great though. Oh, why? Can I just? No, not gonna let me. Okay, hang on here. Let me see what we're looking at. Yeah, we'll just leave it to the candle. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. That's hilarious. What am I doing? Candles, man. But very nice scene so far, Casey. It's really come a long way. But cool. Okay, it's 10:05. You're not sure how to do that in Unreal? So you can add a post processing volume, right? And then have bloom happen. And in bloom, you can like if we just make this black and white, you can tell it what to look for. And when a pixel becomes that range in value, it'll bloom those pixels. So for example, here's the spots that I'm focusing on, right? Those would be the spots that bloom. And in post process it'll do that. Also, what I'm doing in Photoshop that you're seeing me tweak with is acceptable. You're not doing like a full crazy post-processing pass. This is acceptable for photo editing your artwork. All right. All right. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. I'll give Mario pets. I'll make sure he's nice and happy. But yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you very much for hanging out. It was super fun, as it usually is. And I'll put some music on here. There's some really, really nice stuff from you guys this evening. So thank you again. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. Hope you're stoked for that. If you have not joined, come hang out with us in the Discord. If you're trying to get better at art, so are we. So it's a great place to do the thing. And by thing, I mean art. We're doing art there, okay? We're doing art. That's how it rolls here in the Empire. But cool. Okay. I'll see you later. All right. Bye.